I don't like speaking in front of people, so I'm gonna try to get through this. Um, my story seemed kind of boring, and I struggled finding the words to write. Um, I grew up in a Christian home with good role models and good friends. We always went to church and had good relationships in the church. And for the most part, I made good decisions and stayed out of trouble. For the most part. After moving out of the house when I was 18, having kids was more on the list of things not to do. I got a job at Stone Excavating and I worked with Josh. We became great friends, and my weekends often included cuddling with their dog, watching movies, playing games, street racing, blowing things up, normal stuff. I didn't have very much closer, younger family when I was growing up, so I had like zero experience with kids. So when I was spending time with Josh, I was hanging out with Rogan a lot. And I felt like a much older brother to Rogan, and that was kind of the introduction of kids for me. I still remember Allie asking me if I wanted to be a dad or have kids in the future. And this is a direct quote. I would say selfishly, no. I have a fast car, a motorcycle, and I like to have fun. Little did I know that years later I would still hear like a yappy voice saying, "I told you so. I knew you would be a family man." I say yappy, but Josh's voice is nothing to make fun of. After meeting my amazing wife, who had a son already, my heart softened. Spending time with her meant spending time with him, and I started growing. Seeing him look up to me and trust me broke my heart. God had been working on my heart, and my relationship with Grayson was constantly reminding me of my relationship with him. And not always in a good way, in a humbling way also. God has used fatherhood to teach me about his love, his patience, and his grace. My story isn't about me figuring out life. It's about God shaping me into a man and a father he's called me to be. Not a good speaker, though.
I also don't like speaking in front of people. Surprise. I've known Jesus for as long as I can remember. I accepted him when I was young, but I had belief without intimacy. Then high school came and everything unraveled. I chased love anywhere I thought I could find it, in sports, in achievements, and in relationships. I wanted to feel chosen, wanted, and enough. But I fell, and I fell hard. There was a season in my life when I was hurting, when I was looking for love in a place that couldn't give it, and I found myself pregnant. And in that moment, it felt like my world shattered. My dad and I had always been close, but suddenly there was silence when there used to be connection. And it broke my heart in ways I really can't explain. Friends disappeared, and even the church grew quiet. And although no one said the words out loud, it felt as if we were pushed out, like we didn't belong anymore. The enemy saw his chance, and he leaned in with everything he had, and I believed it. All the lies. But my mom never gave up on me. When I didn't have the strength to pray or believe that God was near, she prayed and believed it for me. Her faith became the bridge between God and I. Eventually, I said yes to Christian counseling, honestly more for her than for myself. But even there, in my stubbornness, God met me, not with judgment or shame, but with kindness. And slowly my heart began to soften. I began to see the truth that I'd forgotten, that God wasn't punishing me. He was pursuing me, and He hadn't ever left. God was restoring so much, including my relationship with my dad. Little by little, the walls started crumbling, and my dad, he stood beside me. There was a season where it felt like I had lost both of them, my earthly father and my heavenly one. But the truth is, my dad never actually left. He was still there, even though it felt miles away. And I've realized the distance I felt between us wasn't because he stopped loving me. It was because shame builds walls we don't know how to climb. And it was because it was the same with God. I believed in Him, but I didn't believe He could still want me, choose me, or love me. My relationship with my dad became a mirror, showing me that just like He never left, neither did God. He breaks walls down brick by brick with kindness, grace, and relentless love. During the hardest season of my life, my aunt and uncle stepped in too. They didn't ask questions, they just opened their door and their hearts. It started as a place to sleep, but it became a place to breathe again, to fall apart without being judged. They didn't try to fix me, they simply loved me. Day after day, they spoke truth when all I could hear were lies. He used them in ways I could have never predicted, and through them, I got to see something beautiful. That healing doesn't always come through lightning bolts and loud miracles. Sometimes it just comes through people who simply choose to show up and love well. And yes, God even used them to introduce me to my husband. When my son was 6 months old, God brought someone into our lives, a man I wasn't looking for, but exactly who God knew I needed. From the start, he was steady, present, and patient. He didn't flinch at my story, he leaned in. He brought peace where there had only been chaos. He made me feel safe because he is safe. To my son, he's not the man who stepped in, he's dad. The one who shows up, the one who stays, the one who prays before bed and cheers from the sidelines. I used to think that blessings came after valleys, but my son was a blessing in the middle of one. Born in heartbreak, he became the reason to fight, to heal, to hope again. Proof that God is near to the brokenhearted. I still wrestle with the lies, but now I fight them with truth. I'm not ruined, I'm redeemed. I'm not alone, I am chosen. I am not covered in shame, I'm being transformed by grace. This isn't just my story, it's a bigger story, one that always leads back to Jesus, where the broken are made whole, where grace runs deeper than shame, where love never gives up, and where God never stops writing redemption.